league more improved from last year to this year than Missouri?
Well, I mean, last year was a brutal year for them, a lot of injuries, etc. No, they are playing great basketball. I think in the month of January they have been the top offensive team in the country. Their defense has always been really good, chaotic in an organized fashion, so they're a very difficult matchup, but they are really improved. It's a really good basketball team.
Coach, when you, as a group, when you're shorthanded, you circle the wagons like you guys did Saturday and win one. Just how much of a boost can that give the team?
Yeah, I mean, it was extremely gratifying, and we've said all these words, right? But they're all real. Like, really proud of the group, part of the culture here. Guys mean what they say about, we had enough in here to get it done. We, I think, took it personal and were embarrassed by how we played down there. And guys stepped up and did it, and those 7 got it done. I mean, it's hard to sustain something like that. Health is a major issue at any level. I don't care what sport. You got to have enough numbers and etc. But that was a very proud couple of hours for the Tennessee Vols.
Coach, along those lines, do you get a sense that Igor and Zakai will be back tomorrow night?
I get a sense. Yeah, they both practiced yesterday in somewhat limited amounts, but as always, our performance and Chad have done a heck of a job, and those guys getting themselves back.
What challenges does a guy like Caleb Throw present when he can fire so wild from behind the arc?
From behind the arc? You mean almost at half court? That's a real issue. You guys probably are all too young in here to remember Al Dillard that played at Arkansas.
From the nose of the pig, Coach.
From the nose of the pig. That is what you're looking at. Good job, Rob. Yeah, and he reminded me he was from Bessemer, Alabama. And at the time, I was, at that word we all like here, Alabama. So he's got great range. I think the most impressive thing is his ability to balance himself on his shot prep, quick release. He's just a really tough cover because you can play really good defense, and his offense might be better.
Seems like on paper, Missouri can really shoot the ball well from 3, but likes to run through Mark Mitchell in the post. What's difficult about guarding a team like that?
Yeah, so I think when you have like size and a guy like that that's strong physically, but also like very mobile, versatile, it makes it tough to manage. Like, how are we going to guard all these other guys? They space the floor, they lift the floor. There's area to cut. Kentucky obviously does some of that, or a lot of that. Mitchell's just a little more fluid probably than Williams at Kentucky. Williams is bigger, more of a rebounder. Mitchell is capable of putting the ball on the floor and creating plays. So it's a real issue. We're going to have to be really sharp defensively. Our communication will have to be top notch, but it's very challenging.
How impressive is what Jordan did against Florida, kind of running the offense and also being able to give you all boost scoring?
Yeah, it's impressive. I think Jordan, not only that, but like Coach talks about it, to be able to play 36 minutes and not, look, cardio-wise, we want cardio tough guys. We always say you can do this a little bit, but you can't fall off the cliff because that turns into a 6-8 point run and you might not be able to recover. I think the fact that he and some of the other guys were able to play 36 minutes, sustain their effort, and not just offensively, but defensively manage their guards at Florida, who are terrific. I mean, we just had a really good day, and they had a tough day. You guys have seen them before. That's probably as good a trio, and you had Aberdeen in there. It's a really good guard group. We're getting ready to see another one here coming up in Missouri.
How much do you think that game and maybe how they responded in practice maybe is that turning point in the program for this season?
Well, we won 18 games. Our 4 losses, coaches talked about, have been to really good teams in our league. I don't know if it's a turning point. I don't think that necessarily would be how we look at it. I get where you're coming from with it. Like, did that give you guys a boost and maybe turn this? But we're going to see so many more good teams. And I think that for the entire league, how many road teams won the other day? It was like, what, 5 out of 7 or 4 out of 7? I mean, I think that we just have to try and remain consistent throughout this season and find ourselves, and obviously offensively find what's going to work best for this team, because it's different than last year's team, right? So I don't know if I'd say turning point. I just think that we're looking for that level of consistency, and I'd say mainly more on offense than defense.
Gregg was forced to play guys in new roles on Saturday with the team being shorthanded. How much do you think that's going to help the team long term?
I think the psychological advantage or the confidence level that it gave guys like D. Stone and Bishop Boswell and like you mentioned earlier, guys having to step up, play a different role for a sustained period of time, that's a hard thing to do. But the fact that we have a team that is connected, that understands that, and we push hard in practice to be able to do this and be ready for those kind of moments, I think it's very helpful.
Coach, on that same vein, talking about guys being in bigger roles, compare Cade now to first week of November. How much has he grown, just confidence-wise, and how much you guys trust him?
We trust him a lot. I think his teammates would say the same thing. I think you know my comment about the Waffle House. I think the one thing that I appreciate in life is level of consistency. I just want to know what I'm going to get, and I think when you're coaching and you're a teammate of a guy, you just want to know what you're going to get every day. The most frustrating things are the roller coaster ride with people, with relationships, with players. That's a tough thing to deal with. And I think with Cade, you get a consistent personality, you get a pretty consistent effort. Execution sometimes, you want it to be a little higher, but he's done a really nice job for us.
How rare is it for a player to increase their shooting percentage like Caleb Grill? I think it's like 13% higher than he shot in his career, and sustain it for this long part of the season.
Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, as we prepared for Florida in the second game, I watched that game down there. He was phenomenal. I mean, the shots he was making off a movement were NBA-ish. It's rare, but it happens to have that uptick. And the thing is, can a guy like that do it again next year? I don't know if there is next year for him, but can he do it again at the next level? I know we used to look at that a lot. Is it a one-year thing? But it doesn't matter. Right now he's doing it, and he's doing it at a high level.
How do you guys balance conditioning and wear and tear, especially as you're in the thick of the middle of SEC play and only having 9 scholarship players?
I think that's where Garrett comes in and Chad, that we follow their lead. Pretty much, it depends. As long as I always tell the guys, hey, let's get it done here in the time that we really have allotted, that we have allotted, that we want to go with, optimal amount of time for you to be on the court. So when we execute and guys are giving effort, then we can get in and out. But coach is not going to leave practice unless we've gotten done what we need to get done.
5th straight game against a top 15 team. Just what is this stretch gonna teach you guys heading into March and hopefully into conference play too?
Yeah, I think that our whole league is benefiting from this, right? That we get to see top level competition every single night. There's not one game on the schedule that you might circle saying we probably have a little better chance to win this one, or I just can't say that. I mean, it's also when you catch an opponent, like Florida caught us, when we were, or you catch another team when they're not as healthy, or, I'm watching Iowa State, I have great respect for them. What's happened? So it's a long year. There's a lot of dynamics that go on within a team, and sometimes you just don't find your stride. I know Coach brings up all the time, I think one of the years UConn won the national championship, they lost 5 straight games. So you can flip it if you have high character people, and we do. So one game, whatever, but to go back to what you originally asked, the opportunity to play these games, I think our players would tell you they love, and it gives us a great opportunity to get, maybe some seeding if we can take care of business. And I think every team feels like that wow, we get a chance to really, put ourselves in a position for the NCAA tournament.
Anything else?
Is Florida your scout?
Not the first time.
The second time?
Yeah, I'm one of those guys that dodges the bullet,
Okay.
No, Florida, yes, Florida was
How
my
much
scout.
pride do you take when the team shuts the water off when it's your
Well, I take pride in our players. I mean, we are pretty much insignificant. we give them the information, we give them a game plan and a strategy, but it didn't change immensely from the first time. The guys just did it. The guys went out and executed, played at a high level competitively. And listen, the guy you're getting ready to talk to next came off screens like a pro, knocked down shots at critical times, and we just had a great defensive effort from everybody, and the energy level and execution and their level of concentration. So I say this, and not to sound so noble, it is 100% the players, and they did a great job with the Florida game.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you,
Appreciate
guys.
it.